Good day everyone, I am John Paul H. Bangko and this is my partner Elmer G. Howe, and today we're going to discuss to you the Indonesia police models. But before we start, what are we going to discuss? So we're going to discuss about the history of Indonesia police, their rank structures, their duties and responsibilities, and then furthermore as we go along with this video. So first we're going to discuss about the history of Indonesia police models. When large parts of Indonesia was under Dutch colonial occupation until 1940s, police duties were performed by either military establishments or colonial police known as the Veldpolitie or the Fields Police. Japanese occupation during World War II brought changes when the Japanese formed various armed organizations to support their war. This has led to the distribution of weapons to military-trained youths, which were largely confiscated from the Dutch armory. After the Japanese occupation, the National Police became an armed organization. The Indonesian Police was established in 1946, and its units fought in the Indonesian National Revolution against the invading Dutch forces. Also participated in suppressing the 1948 Communist Revolt in Madiun. In 1966, the police was brought under the control of Armed Forces Chief following the proclamation of independence. The police played a vital role when they actively supported the people's movement to dismantle the Japanese army and to strengthen the defense of the newly created Republic of Indonesia. The police were not combatants who were required to surrender their weapons to Allied forces. During the Revolution of Independence, the police gradually formed into what is now known as Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia, or Polri, or the Indonesian National Police. In 2000, the police force officially regained its independence and now is separate from the military. So when the Indonesia was colonized by the Dutch during the 1940s, Veldpolitie is parang nag-i-implement pa ng mga kumbaga parang yun yung kumbaga nakikilalang police dati kasi hindi pa kilala yung mga police duties dati. So military establishments also known as Veldpolitie is siya pa yung nagpe-perform ng police duties. So after the Japanese brought changes in the armed organizations, dun na nagsimula yung ideology ng Indonesia to get the idea na parang kailangan na din nila kunin yung idea. So after ng Japanese occupation, National Police ng Indonesia became armed organization. So naging armed organization na lang sila, na din sila, just like yung ideology ng Japanese. So after the establish ng Indonesian National Police noong 1946, they proved their capabilities through showing their skills, their duties, mga trabaho nila against the invading Dutch forces. So nag-invade na ulit yung mga Dutch forces, but they prevented it. And then the suppressing communist revolt in 1948. So and then na-dismantle din nila yung Japanese army. So as you can see, marami din sila na pakita. That is why the police gradually formed into what is now National Police. So noong 2000, the police force officially regained its independence and now is separate from the military. So iba na yung duties ng National Police sa military kasi nung 1940s kumbaga military pa yung kumbaga yung head sa police. So separate ni yung agency nila ngayon. Indonesia Police. The Indonesian National Police, or also known as Indonesian Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia, is the official police force for Indonesia. It had formerly been part of the Indonesia Armed Forces, or ABRI, since independent from the Dutch. The police were formally separated from the military in April 1999, a process which was formally completed in July 2000. The headquarters, or known as Markas Besar Mabes in Indonesian, is located in Kebayoran Baru, South Jakarta, Indonesia. So, like what I have discussed earlier, naging military forces pa yung Indonesian police before sila naging national police ngayon. And then, yun. Let's proceed. The Indonesian National Police, or POLRI, is the main agency responsible for maintaining security and public order, law enforcement, and provide protection and service to the community in Indonesia. The force is a centralized organization with responsibilities ranging from traffic control, criminal investigation, intelligence gathering, and counterterrorism duties. So, the national police is centralized. So when we say centralized, so yung mga national police ng Indonesia is pwede sila lumipat from one state to another, or like from one place to another, as long as nasa parts lang ng Indonesia. So for example, dito sa Pilipinas, you are a graduate from Davao City and a certified police officer, and then you suddenly decided na pumunta sa Manila for transfer. So pwede ka pa rin mag-work doon. So yun yung meaning ng centralized. So pwede ka lumipat sa ibang mga, pwede ka ma-deploy sa ibang places. The Indonesian National Police is the national policing force of Indonesia with its headquarters located in Jakarta. It is under the auspices of the President of Indonesia. The highest command of the National Police Indonesia is executed in Jakarta. At the Indonesian at Trunjoyo Street, Kebayoran Baru, South Jakarta. The National Police Headquarters oversees every provincial police of the country. Each province of Indonesia has its own police headquarters, known as the Polda, an abbreviation of Kepolisian Daerah, the regional police. In Indonesian, it oversees several city or regional police departments which are responsible for city or regency or kabupaten in the province. It is known as the Polres. Kepolisian Resort, or Polres, then oversees several police stations responsible for sub-district or kemakata known as Polsek. In Indonesia, we have 3 headquarters. So, one of it is the Polda, the Polres, and the Polsek. So, when we say Polda, yun yung, yun yung nasa mga regional offices. Just like yung mga region, parang kinakabuuan ng provinces. And then, sa Polres is for the city. Yun yung mga like sa center ng like city as sa na understandable naman yan. Polda is for the regional, Polres is for the city, and then Polsek is the sub-district. So sub-district yun yung mga maliliit na mga part ng cities, just like barangays, yung mga maliliit na mga hindi naman kasi na manage lang yan ng Polres, yung lahat ng So may mga sub-district talaga yun na naka-assign dun sa particular place para mas ma-implement talaga nila yung kanilang mga duties. Law enforcement in Indonesia is mainly performed by the Indonesian National Police, or as we call known as the POLRI. together with the other law enforcement agencies which are under the president. A certain ministry or state-owned company, BUMN or BUMN, which perform policing duties for a certain public service. These law enforcement agencies are under the supervision and are trained by the Indonesian National Police. The Indonesian National Police is basically the national civilian police force of the country responsible for enforcing and order of the state. So guys, Polri is the main agency of the Indonesia. So, may other agencies din under the president na parang tumutulong din sa in implementing policies na tumutulong sa mga Polri. So, yun yung BUMN. So, we will discuss later on kung ano yung BUMN na yan. The Mobile Brigade Corps, or known locally as BRIMOB, is a paramilitary force of the Indonesian National Police tasked to conduct high-risk law enforcement such as counterinsurgency, riot control, and hostage rescue. It is the PTU and SWAT unit of Polri. Their uniform is the same like other police units but wear a dark blue beret as their headgear. During urban operational duties, they wear black uniforms, and during jungle operational duties, they wear green. Each provincial police headquarters, or Polda, in Indonesia has a BRIMOB unit. The Detachment 88, or known locally as Densus 88, is a special counterterrorism unit of the Indonesian National Police. So the BRIMOB guys is like a SWAT natin sa Philippines. So sila yung tawag na ito nagkakandak ng mga high risk enforcement such as yung mga rebellion, not exactly as rebellion, but yung mga riot, yung mga tawag na ito, mga revolt, yun, kasi may mga nagkakagulo talaga dun. So, every Polda or regional headquarter has their own BRIMOB unit. So, ang purpose ng BRIMOB unit is to prevent terrorism. So, di naman talaga natin alam naman natin na most of the terrorists are, nagkakamp talaga sa mga masusukal na area like mga regional places kasi hindi naman talaga sila pumupunta sa mga city, ganun, kasi exposed sila. So, doon talaga sila mga provinces, mga ganun. So, Polda they have their own BRIMOB unit, or as we all know as the Detachment 88 or the Densus 88. Sila yung mga special counter-terrorism unit ng mga Indonesian National Police. The organization is now independent and is under the direct auspices of the President of Indonesia. The Indonesian National Police is responsible for law enforcement and policing duties all over Indonesia. The organization is widely known for its corruption, violence, and incompetence. The Indonesian National Police also takes part in international United Nations missions, and after special training provided security for the UNAMID mission to protect internally displaced people in Darfur. In total, per 2020, the total personnel that the Indonesian National Police possesses is 4,400, and the number is increasing every year. It includes 34,000 BRIMOB personnel, with up to 7,000 water and aviation police personnel. Polri is also assisted by an estimated 1 million members of SAMCOM, Mitra Polri volunteers throughout the country, which are civilians that assists the police. The headquarters of the Indonesian National Police is located in Kebaroyan, just like what I've mentioned earlier. South Jakarta and Indonesia National Police Hotline emergency number is 110, which serves all over Indonesia 24 hours. So yun na nga guys, as we can see, napakarami nilang armed personnel. Unlike dito sa Pilipinas, na konti lang talaga. So they have approximately 440,000 number of the National Police. Wow. And 34,000 BRIMOB unit, yun yung Detachment 88 or Dansus 88. So yun nakaspread out yun sila sa mga POLDA headquarters all over the Indonesia. So yun, naging independent na yung National Police Polri since the Dutch colonization. So under na sila ngayon sa Office of the President. So walang nakakaangat sila. So walang nakakaangat sa agency nila except sa President. So kanong utos ng President, yun yung gagawin nila. So emergency number nila is 110. Atin dito is 911. So yan, 24 hours din yung surveillance nila and hotline nila.
Rank structure. In the early year, the Indonesian police used European-style police ranks like brigadier, inspector, and commissioner. When the police were amalgamated with the military structure during the 1960s, the armed forces ranking system was brought in using ranks such as captain, major, and colonel. In the year 2000, when the Indonesian police transitioned into a fully independent force, they used British-style rank like constable and superintendent, but returned in their original rank system a year later, albeit with some Indonesianized element to help bluster national pride. This is the rankings of Indonesian police. There are three types of officer, like general, senior, and junior officer. They have three types of uniform dress, like ceremonial dress uniform, service dress uniform, and field dress uniform. This is the name of the Indonesian police. Indonesian rank police. Rank in name in English, first is Police General, second Police Commissioner General, third Police Inspector General, fourth Police Brigadier General, next is Police Chief Commissioner, next Police Commissioner Adjunct, Police Commissioner, next is Police Adjunct Commissioner, next is Police First Inspector, the lastly is Police Second Inspector. Next is the Sub-Inspector of Police and Constable. The Indonesian rank name called in their language, this is in English is Police First Sub-Inspector, second Police Second Sub-Inspector, third is Police Chief Brigadier, fourth is Police Brigadier, next is Police First Brigadier, the lastly is Police Second Brigadier. And the next is for enlisted. This is the Indonesian rank name, their code language. In English is Police Sub Brigadier. Next is Police First Sub Brigadier. Third is Police Second Sub Brigadier. Next is Senior Patrolman. Next is First Patrolman, and lastly Second Patrolman. Duties and responsibilities of Indian Police. maintain security and public order, enforce the law, and provide protection and service to the community. In carrying out the basic tasks, police are to perform control, guard, escort, and patrol of the community, and government activities as needed. Supply all activities to ensure the safety and smoothness of vehicular traffic on every kind of roadway. Develop community awareness in the development of national law implement order and ensure public safety. Implement coordination, supervision, and technical guidance to an investigator, civil servants, authorities, and in the form of private securities, implement the investigation against the criminal act in accordance with the criminal procedures law and other legislations, implement identifications such as police medical operations, psychology, and police forensic laboratory for the interest of the task set by the service, protection, soul, safety, property, society, and the environment from disturbance and or disaster, including providing aid and relief to uphold human rights, serve interests of citizen for a while before it is held by the agency or authorities, give service to a public in accordance with the interests of the police task environment, implement other duties in accordance with the Constitution and legislative act, which in practice are regulated by the government regulations.